The API bottom plate shall have a complete rest like this. It has to be compacted. Either if it is sand, then it has to be compacted, or if it is concrete basement, then anyway it will be uniform. So uniform support is required. Okay. So if you just concentrate on the bottom plate, there is no additional load which is coming. It is only the static head, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Right.
static head, if you convert 10 meter static head even of water, so it will be 1 bar. Okay. That is
Correct.
equal to 0.1 megapascal. Okay. And we know that allowable strength, if I take 516, it will be 138 MPa, So that much length we are not going to have. So that allowable, we are not going to even closer than that. Maximum height we can have at 20 meter, right? That is also not, the height is having lots of restriction related to the local regulations. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So 20 meter is the highest which you can normally go. So that will have your 0.2 MPa pressure. So that is nothing compared to the allowable. So it is not going to get stressed, But the annular plate, which is holding your shells, okay, that will see some stresses because of the bending of this shell cores, right? Because there will be loading on this shell, because of the static head, it is trying to bend, and that will create a local stress in the annular plate. So the thickness has to be calculated based on the stress which is there in the bottom shell cores. So bottom shell cores is affecting the design of your annular plate. Okay. So if the annular plate thickness is getting changed, if we have two different things, we just have to change the annular plate thickness, and bottom plate will remain as it is. So it will save you lots of cost. Okay.
Yes.
Abhishek,
Yeah.
only I think this might have been covered later on also.
Mhm.
But when earlier we were discussing that bottom plate required continuous support means continuous foundation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then how the ring beam foundation will be different in that case?
Yeah. So
Ring beam foundation will have only the ring of the foundation, correct? Not the continuous foundation.
no, it's not like that. See, I will just draw you the ring foundation. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So this is my ring wall. Okay.
Okay, correct.
Okay. So now whatever is remaining, so your
Okay.
is not coming straight because I have not put it properly. Okay. So see this area which you have seen, it is not left like that. It is filled with sand or soil, and it is
Okay.
compacted heavily. Okay. To give it like this,
Support.
to give the proper support.
Okay.
That is the reason, compacting of this is very important. Otherwise, the tank bottom plate may fail.
Correct, correct.
Okay. So when we have ring wall, then we provide
Hmm.
sand, and then by adding some rollers like we make use for road making, that will
Hmm.
be, moving on that. So it
Hmm.
has to get compacted so that your plate is completely rested on that. Okay. And
Okay.
civil engineer will also calculate if there is some, because of that full load, if
Hmm.
it's going to be compacted further, then they
Hmm.
keep it little higher. Okay, so
Okay.
when it is the load, the full load will come, it will slightly get compacted and then it will become even. So that is
Okay, so that is the tank settlement, na?
yeah, that is the tank
They
settlement.
say the tank settlement, what they discuss, that is the same one, correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so that tank settlement takes place when we fill the full.
Full water and we do hydro testing
So that time
at
also the
site.
settlement will happen.
Okay.
So we need to have provision. So many times if the sand is not properly compacted, your bottom plate may fail, right? See, because we have not designed this bottom plate to take any load. So
Okay.
if it is uneven, it will fail due to the pressure.
Okay.
Okay. And if you remember that flathead designed for any small pressure also, very high thickness is required. Do you remember?
Yes, correct. Yes,
Yes, sir.
correct. Yes.
So it is a flathead with pressure. So if we are allowing that pressure, in case there is no settlement or no sand, it cannot withstand. It will fail because the diameter is very big and it is acting as a flathead, so it cannot take pressure. Okay, so
Okay,
it
correct.
has to be properly compacted, and for that only we are designing. So the configuration is clear, and that is the reason they have fixed the minimum thickness,
Okay.
considering all that case. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now let us go to annular plate. Now we'll see when we require annular plate and when we don't require. So if you read this paragraph, when the bottom shell course is designed using the allowable stress for material in group 4, 4A, 5 or 6. So what are these materials? If you see here in design, see 4 means 516 grade 70, which is the normal material which we use, that will fall in this. So if we are using this material, then we need to have a annular plate.
Okay.
For SA 36 and all, we don't require. For material which are in group 4, 4A, 5 and 6, whatever is in the bottom, if you are using any material from this table, you need to have annular plate.
Annular plate.
That is what first paragraph is saying. Now we'll read the second paragraph. Okay. So when the bottom shell course is designed using the allowable stress for material in group 4, 4A, 5 and 6, butt welded annular plate shall be used. Okay. The second paragraph says when the bottom shell course is of material in group 4, 4A, 5 and 6 and the product stress, okay, product stress SD, which we have already taken here in the stress value.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yeah, so for material which we have taken, it is 283. So for that, it is 137. Okay. So what it's saying for 4A, if we are taking, then what it will be? See, if I am taking for 516, which will come in 4 group. So if we use that 516 grade 70, the SD value is 173. Okay. Now let us read it, what it says for that. So when the bottom shell course is of material 4, 4A, 5 and 6 and the product stress for the first shell course is less than or equal to 160 MPa. Okay. So in our case, like in 516 grade 70 case, our SD is more than this.
More than
Yes.
yes.
Okay, so one of the material for which if it is less than 160, so in that case, so first it is comparing with the product stress. In this next, in the same line, it is also comparing the hydrostatic stress. So if the product design stress, if it is less than or equal to 160 MPa, or the hydrostatic test stress for the first shell course, if it is less than or equal to 171, the lap welded bottom plates may be used in lieu of butt welded annular bottom plates. Okay. So if we are using the shell course, the lowest shell course of a material for which either the product stress is less than 160 or the hydrostatic test stress, if it is less than 171, then you can go for lap welded annular plate also. Okay. So instead of butt welded, we can go for lap welded.
Lap welded.
But see, this welding is joining two annular plates together in circular form. There only we are discussing, na?
See, it is also telling you to join with the bottom plate also. Like, see, if you read this.
Okay. To join with the bottom plate also.
Right,
Okay,
and
correct.
within the annular plate also.
Okay.
Combining
Within
both.
the, okay.
Okay. So, may be used in lieu of this. So, when annular bottom plates are not required. So, now we'll read when it is required and not required. That also will come. When it is not required, when your thickness is same. Now, like we will now be calculating the thickness. Okay. When my thickness is higher, then I need to have annular plate. If my thickness is not exceeding, then I don't need to have annular plate. Right? I can have the same bottom plate extended
Yes,
as
sir.
annular plate. Okay. So when annular bottom plates are not required by this standard, lap welded or butt welded bottom plates cut into annular shapes may be used. Okay. So bottom plate itself arranged as an annular plate may be used, but it will be called as a bottom plate only. Okay. But they would be considered annular bottom plates. Okay. So they will be considered annular bottom plates, but they will be cut. So the same bottom plate we are using, but because it is arranged in an annular shape like annular plate, we are calling it, we are not calling it as a annular plate. We will be calling it as a
Bottom annular.
Bottom plate.
but they would not be considered annular. We are arranging it like annular plate, but it is a bottom plate only. It will not be called as a, see, when we have different thickness, then only we'll call it as a annular plate. Okay.
Okay.
So now let us see, in this para, they have calculated the width of that annular plate. Like if in this case, what should be my width, right? So for calculating this width of annular plate, we need the thickness of the annular plate. Okay. So before we calculate this, we need to have the thickness calculation. Okay. So we need to read this para before calculating the width. So if we read this 5.5.3, okay. So as per clause 5.5.3, what it says, the thickness of the annular bottom plate shall not be less than the greater thickness determined using table 5.1a and table 5.1b.
5.1b.
Okay, for product design, So now you have to remember that this is, we have to add the corrosion.
Corrosion allowance is additional.
Okay. So we have to, what we have to refer first? Okay.
Table.
Okay. Okay. I don't know why this is coming. Let me just open it again. Some problem. And the bottom plate. Okay, so if we read this, what it says that the thickness of annular bottom plate shall not be less than the greater thickness determined using table 5.1a and 1b. So
1A.
see, 5.1b is nothing but the foot method. So actually we have to refer only one table, right? This is in UCS
Okay.
unit. So that is the reason it's calling, there is no two tables, only one table is there. So
UCS. Okay.
yeah, so only we have to refer this 5.1a. So what?
5.8.
Yeah.
1A.
So what first we will do, class A, thickness as per table okay. So this table you can have built up in the Excel sheet also if you want it separately, So based on the diameter, because it is just based on the diameter, sorry, not diameter, based on the plate thickness. Okay.
Shell thickness.
Plate thickness of the
First shell course.
first shell course. So based on the thickness, we have to just use this first shell course, this one, and we can do matching with this table. Okay, lookup value, and this can be directly taken. Then you don't have to refer it again. Okay, so you can do that, or you can have it like this. We can just copy it.
Copy paste there.
And so that when we are referring, we don't have to see the code, right? It's already there. Table is, so we can just refer that and we can easily put that value. Okay. So now let's put this table. If we see, but if you refer this table, you will see that there's also one value, it's called stress. Okay. Now we need to again go back to the code to see what this stress, how we'll calculate. Okay. So the thickness depends upon the stress. Now the stress is defined as B. Okay. The plate thickness is defined as A. What is this plate thickness? Plate thickness refers to the corroded shell thickness, okay, for product design, and nominal thickness for hydrostatic test design.
Yes.
When we are referring this plate thickness, so like in our case, my plate thickness is 26. So 23 mm plate thickness refer to the corroded shell plate thickness for product design. Okay, so I need to subtract the corrosion allowance. Okay, so in our case, what it will become 23 mm. Okay, so for 23 mm, it will come into this. And the second thing is the stress. So how that stress is defined? The stress to be used is the maximum stress in the first shell course. Okay. Now, in the first shell course, we have not calculated any stress. We have just calculated the thickness based on the product stress. Now it
Yes,
is
sir.
asking us to calculate the stress. So how that stress can be calculated? The stress may be determined using the, why it's saying maybe, because see what formula we have used for shell thickness? We have used that PD by 2T, right? The API version of PD by 2T.
Yes, sir.
So in the same, if we already have the thickness, we can calculate the stress, right? The thickness is now known. So can we calculate the stress?
Yes.
Is it clear what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. As per thickness, we have to
Yeah.
calculate the stress.
Yes. So earlier we used the product stress and calculated the thickness. The SD was known based on the material. Now TD is known and we are calculating this SD, the stress in that shell course. Got it? By you, all these other factors will be same.
Yes, sir.
So we can calculate TD. We can also calculate TT. For this TT, we'll have the nominal thickness and we can calculate the SD, right? So either we can do that way, or that is the reason the code is not asking you to restrict. It's saying that maybe. Okay, so you are not bound to follow that. You can just use what code has given. What code has given? So if you see this table, code is giving you a simple formula for product stress. As whatever design thickness you have, subtract the corrosion allowance.
Yes, sir.
Corroded. So what it's become?
Divided by corroded
By
T.
corroded T. That means I will just come back here. What was, this is my design thickness, right? Formula which we have
Right.
calculated, adding the corrosion allowance. So now this minus corrosion allowance. So it will become 20.90. Got it?
Yes. Yes, sir. Got it.
And this we have already calculated, this corroded T. The bottom part, this bottom corroded T is 23. We just calculated in A, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so 20.90 divided by 23 multiplied with SD. Okay, if you can relate it, you will find that it is actually the same thing what you're doing by using the formula. See, if you do by that way also, we are doing the same thing, which we said earlier, okay? So just try to grasp that. Okay, it is just the ratio of the whatever extra thickness we have provided. In the same ratio, we have to reduce the product stress. That will give you the stress in the bottom shell course.
Bottom shell.
Okay, so if it is less than 190, my thickness for first, it will be 6 mm. Okay, so for our case, we can calculate. So thickness as per this. Before that, we will calculate the product stress. Okay, so for product stress, what we'll have? T design. So we'll go here. T design minus corrosion allowance. Okay. Divided by this corroded thickness, or we can have this minus corrosion allowance. Okay. Multiply this ratio with SD. Okay, so we can use SD from here, or In the next page also we have this SD value. So this is 124 MPa. Okay, so there are two stresses. One is product design stress, and second is hydrostatic stress. Oh, sorry. Because for both the cases it's saying, right? If you read this,
Yes.
stress to be used is the maximum stress in the first shell course. So how that maximum stress is defined? It is the greater of product or hydrostatic. So whatever we are calculating, so we'll calculate both and we'll take the maximum of that. So hydrostatic static is also defined here. So hydrostatic test. Okay, so that is defined as the nominal thickness, okay, TT divided by nominal thickness. And whatever we are getting here, okay, 20.57. Here we have added the corrosion, right? Okay, and anyway, this corrosion was not there because this is a hydrostatic, right? So that is the reason we don't have to bother about corrosion. Yeah, it is just the ratio of this divided by this. Okay, so it is simple. Into here ST. Okay, so here we have the
Greater of this one.
greater of these two. So we can have one more value. Maximum stress, we can call it. Maximum stress in bottom shell course. That will be max of this and this. Okay. Okay, now you can use this to.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
By using this, we can go to this table and find out the thickness. So you can have a formula based, or we can have just input by seeing this table. So that I will leave on to you. Try to do this as a formula based. Let us see little bit Excel. Okay, so that will make your worksheet more, automated if you use that. Try to see if you can use. So if I just use this table, my thickness here is between this.
20, correct?
This is also less than 190. So it is 6 mm only. Okay.
Okay.
But this is what without corrosion, or I have to add corrosion in that.
Bottom plate.
6 mm is without
Corrosion.
Without corrosion.
Yes.
This is without corrosion.
Yeah, because we just read that the thickness of the under bottom plate shall not be less than the greater thickness. See it after 10 minutes again will be get disconnected. So join with the same link. Okay.
Yes, correct.
So using the table 5.1a and 1b plus any corrosion line. So I need to add. So what we'll call it, thickness of the bottom angular bottom plate as per 5.5.3. So we can cut it here. It is not required. Here actually we are using that clause. Okay. Okay. So we can make it little smaller so that it does not go. Thickness of the annular plate. We can remove bottom. Just I'm trying to make it, last here itself so that it is not coming up to here. So is equal to this plus your corrosion allowance. Okay. So this is automated. So this is the thickness requirement. Now the nominal thickness of annular plate. Annular plate will become even of that. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So now the thickness which is coming is same as the bottom plate. So we don't actually require any annular plate. Okay. Let's see if it is saying anything further. So if we just read the next line, table 5.1a and 1b are applicable for effective product height. Okay. So this, whatever we are doing, it is applicable only for effective product height has to be less than 23 meter. Okay. If it is more than that, then we need to perform analysis to determine the annular plate thickness.
And it is which elastic analysis.
Elastic analysis.
In that any procedure or any steps, anything given in this API?
No. Analysis, it will start giving, then it will be too big,
Okay.
Just refer the other design code like section 8 division 2, you can refer. Their detailed is given for elastic analysis.
It is like FEA, no?
Yeah, it is FEA.
FEA. So for that anyway division 2.
Yeah. Okay.
ROARC's formula do not support in this, Abhishek.
No.
But it is not at all useful in this.
Yeah, if it is ROARC, it might have been adopted, and whatever we are saying that they might have checked with ROARC also, and the actual whatever they are getting. So all that, if the formula is available hand calculation, then definitely they will not tell you to do analysis.
Okay.
So before we do all this thickness calculation, we need to check the effective product height. Okay. So
can we put this there also?
What?
Here in this sheet?
Yeah, that is what I'm trying to do.
Achha, okay.
That has to be put before, in doing anything. That is the first thing we need to check, then only we will proceed. Effective product height. So is equal to what it is? H into G. So H into G. Okay. So it is 17.1. Okay. So now you can have one more. So what we can have, we can use conditional formatting. Okay, or we can say here is equal to if this is less than 23 meter, then it will say that use table 5 point or use the methodology It's time for Rosa. Krupa?
No, it's evening azan, not Rosa. Evening azan. Rosa will start the evening times. Yeah, I will mute it. No problem.
Use methodology mentioned in clause this. Otherwise, analysis. Okay, analysis. FA. Okay, so this will give you an indication that what methodology, because if FA is required, automatically it will come.